Welcome to GothamFilm.com's weekly rundown of all the movies opening up in New York this weekend. Let's get started. Inside Job is a documentary that goes into the causes of the 2008 financial crisis. It's narrated by Matt Damon, screened at Cannes and the New York Film Festival to great reviews, has an 87% on Rotten Tomatoes. A.O. Scott says in the New York Times, "It's hard to imagine a movie more serious, more urgent than Inside Job," said Angelica in the West Village and Lincoln Plaza on the Upper West Side.
Selling securities which your own people think are crap. Does that bother you?
As a hypothetical?
No, this is real.
Budrus follows a Palestinian leader who unites Palestinians and Israelis in a nonviolent movement to save his village from destruction. It's currently sitting at 80% on Rotten Tomatoes. Mike Hale of New York Times calls it an engrossing and sometimes inspiring account. It's opening tonight in the Quad Cinema in the West Village.
بدرس إنه هاي اكتشفنا إنه جدار السلب بالأراضي.
The fence has, in fact, created a solution to terror.
Yeah, gotcha.
In this summer school application?
Why would you want to be in school in the summer? You should be on Coney Island bird dogging chicks.
Are you a doctor?
It's Kind of a Funny Story is a new comedy drama that centers around a 16-year-old who, after a bout of depression, checks himself into a psychiatric hospital. It's open to mixed to positive reviews, currently sitting at 59% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Letters to Father Jacob is a Finnish film that tells the story of a pardoned convict who eventually becomes transformed in a religious-themed drama. It's got mixed reviews. Some find it beautiful, some find the religious aspect heavy-handed. It's opening at Cinema Village in the East Village.
Life as We Know It is a romantic comedy starring Katherine Heigl. In it, two single adults become caregivers to an orphan girl when their mutual best friends die in an accident. It's receiving generally negative reviews with a 27% on Rotten Tomatoes. According to Peter Travers of Rolling Stone, this is crap as we know it.
I want to get a picture of Sophie with her godparents.
Yes, this is she.
Did Allison and Peter speak with you about who would take care of Sophie in the unlikely event that they should both die?
No.
Well, they named you.
My Soul to Take is a 3D horror film written and directed by Wes Craven. It follows a serial killer known as the Riverton Ripper. There's no score yet on Rotten Tomatoes, but initial reviews have unfortunately labeled this film as the worst of Craven's extremely successful career. It's opening today in wide release.
Nowhere Boy is a documentary about the early years of John Lennon and the formation of his first band. It's actually well reviewed and 80% on Rotten Tomatoes. Keith Phipps in the AV Club says, "It's a tender, handsome, dutiful, and finally, a little dull." Film Forum at the West Village and Lincoln Square on the Upper West Side is where you can find it.
Ready to do this, boys? If we're gonna do this, we should write our own stuff. I write stuff, not songs, more poetry, you know. Add a tune to that and you got a song.
Rachel's a documentary about an American woman killed in 2003 in Gaza protesting Israeli military forces. Reviews are generally good. It has an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes, though many think it's a little too political. It's opening at Anthology Film Archives in the East Village.
Our embassies and governments know that we are here.
We stayed in the houses of people who lived in particularly dangerous conditions.
Secretariat chronicles the journey of the racehorse Secretariat, the 1973 Triple Crown winner. It's receiving generally positive reviews with a score of 64% on Rotten Tomatoes. The New York Daily News says Secretariat knows which beats to hit.
They're a multi-million-dollar gamble we housewives make every day.
All right, then. Let's show them what you're made of.
Recent?
I prefer Stone.
So, like a nickname? That's
what my people call me.
Stone is a psychological thriller starring Edward Norton, a convict, and De Niro, his parole officer. Film's not really getting the reviews, 46% on Rotten Tomatoes. In the New York Post, Kyle Smith writes, "It squats awkwardly in cinematic purgatory between tawdry and talky."
Maybe she's trying to make you jealous. Or maybe she's just a bit kinky.
Do I get my treat?
You are so cheesy.
Tamara Drewe is a modern reworking of Thomas Hardy's Far From the Madding Crowd, directed by Stephen Frears. It's getting good reviews, 74% on Rotten Tomatoes, and Jay Haberman, the Village Voice, writes, "The story is a good one, and the events come nicely to a boil." It's at Union Square and Lincoln Plaza.
Wherever you find her.
I'm Jeff.
And I'm Bob.
And this has been GothamFilm.com's Weekly Rundown.